There has been some amazing builds in NBA 2K history, but there can only be 10 of the greatest, most unstoppable builds to make this list. Any build from 2K15 all the way to 2K21 Next Gen can qualify for this list. Go ahead and drop a like and let me know what was your favorite build of all time. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it. At number 10, we got the 6'2 Sharps from 2K17. Anybody who played 2K17 knows about this build. No matter what game mode you played, 2s or 3s, this build was dominating. Remember, in 2K17, if your center had Hall of Fame brick wall, his screens would knock people down. So if you had a center setting screens and you're using this build that could speed boost and shoot consistently, you had a build that would dominate everyone. If you remember the BB glitch from 17, this motherfucker so fast, if you BB glitch and do off-ball moves, it's impossible to keep up with this build. And the Sharp Grand Badge was so OP, once you get that Grand Badge, you ain't missing at all. Those 6'2 Sharps are all over the place in 17, and for a good reason. And that's why they take the number 10 spot on the top 10 list. At number 9, we got the 6'10 point forward from 2K18. Comp Pro-Am teams always had this build in the lineup. People ran this build on the 3s and the 2s court as well. No matter what game mode you played, you saw this build, and for a damn good reason. This build was so dominant with 2K18 and its game mechanics. Then remember in 2K18 the blow-by animations and the snatchback animations? This build was a master at both. Not only that, it was so hard to stop because it was speed boost and shoot consistently. Like I said, the snatchback ankle breakers and snatchback so you could pull from deep. Then the blow-by animations you get with this build was completely overpowered, especially if you hit 99 with this build. Once you hit 99, you got +1 on all badges. This build was unstoppable in 2K18, and that's why this build makes the number 9 spot on the top 10 list. At number 8, we got the two-way slash and play from 2K20. This build was made up of the playmaking and the defensive pie chart in 2K20. If y'all remember, this build was all over the game in every single game mode. The build could do absolutely everything from shooting 3s to getting contact dunks and ankle breakers as well. The build completely dominated NBA 2K20. Anybody who played 20 knows that this build was on every single court. Not to mention what put this build over the top was its defensive abilities. It could rebound over a center, then clamp you up on the perimeter. And this build definitely deserves the number 8 spot on our top 10 list. At number 7, we got the stretch 4 from 2K19. If y'all remember when 2K19 first came out, it was impossible to contest a stretch big. So we're talking about a build with a 90+ 3 ball, able to just pull over people's heads and not get contested. In other words, they made the 3 ball every possession. And on top of that, it only took 3 shots for you to get a sharp take, which was already overpowered in 2K19 itself. And not only that, if you had a 6'11 stretch big, you could dribble as well. And people eventually started to ISO with these stretch bigs. And if you remember one thing about 19, pushing was in the game for the first half of it. So most teams just ran a stretch 4 and a glass cleaner and had the glass cleaner push the defense out of the way, which eventually gave the stretch 4 a wide open shot. No matter what game mode in 19, stretch bigs were there and dominating, and they definitely deserved the number 7 spot on the top 10 list. At number 6, we got the 6'10 point forward from 2K17. This build was the size of a center. It could also speed boost and dribble like a guard, shoot consistently, and the animation glitch in 17 also made this build able to dunk like a slasher. Definitely an entertaining build to play on in 17 and one of the most dominant builds ever seen on the 2s court. The qualities of this build combined with the playmaking grand badge of 2K17 makes this one of the most dominant builds we ever seen. It definitely deserves the number 6 spot on the top 10 list. Coming in at number 5, we got the Pure Lockdown from 2K19. This build, if you remember, was by far the best defensive build in the game. A 6'10 build with max wingspan that could guard any position you put him up against. But what makes this build completely overpowered is the fact that offensively, it still was dominated. It could dunk almost as good as a slasher. It could shoot just as well as a sharp. The build easily was the best defensive build. But what makes this build completely broken was the fact that offensively you weren't a liability at all. The 6'10 pure lockdown from NBA 2K19, anybody who played this game knows just how good this build was, and it definitely deserves the number 5 spot on the top 10 list. At number 4, we got the 6'7 power forwards from 2K21 Next Gen. These builds get an insane amount of contact dunks. You're practically a big guard that can shoot the 3 at a high level, basically doing everything, and it definitely deserves a spot on the list. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here at number 4. Cracking the top 3, we got the 7'3" stretch bigs from 2K18. This build could make heavily contested shots and could dribble as a 7'3" stretch big. Not gonna lie, this build was definitely fun, but definitely game breaking and very frustrating to play against. Also, with the off-ball Dexing glitch, people in the stages just running off-ball back and forth, getting open threes. Or even if it was contested, like I said, in 2K18 it didn't matter because people green heavily contested shots all the time with these stretch bigs. One of the most ridiculous builds we have ever seen in 2K history. At number 2, we got post scores from NBA 2K19. One of the most broken things we have ever seen in a 2K game was post scores on 2K19. Let's start it off with post takeover. Post takeover was one of the most broken takeovers ever in 2K19. You would throw your opponents all over the court once you got that takeover. You got that L2 post spin speed boost glitch, or you got ISO and Euro step with these post scores. These builds even shoot consistently. The takeover was so overpowered, you could make a 5'7 post score and body centers with a 5'7 post scoring takeover. Absolutely one of the most broken things we have ever seen. On top of that, you had a double archetype, so if you made a sharpshooting post score, you were basically a stretch big and a post score in one. Endless combinations you can make with this post score in 2K19. No matter what you made, it was completely broken. The greatest build of all time, the 7-foot Demigods from 2K15. The name should say it all. Anyone who played 2K15 Park, or played with, or against, or witnessed this build, I think would put it hands down number 1 build of all time. I mean, what couldn't you do? You could do everything at 7 foot tall. No other build in 2K history has ever even come close to compare. I don't think no more needs to be said about it. Hands down, number 1 build in 2K history. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite build in 2K history. Drop a like on the video, sub if you're new. Check out my last video if you haven't. It's your boy Zay, and I'm out, man. Peace.